God, that person scared the hell out of me. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm going to be telling my scoliosis story. Before we get started, I'm just going to say that I have a heart condition and respiratory problems, and that's like a key thing in my scoliosis. When I was 13 or 14, I was diagnosed with scoliosis, and this came about when I was at my respiratory appointment and my doctor was like, oh, you have a bit of a curve. Looks like you have scoliosis. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that means. Never heard of this term before. And he then told me that it's a medical condition that your spine curves into an S or a C shape. And I was like, okay, cool, like still having no idea what it really means. And he referred me to a scoliosis specialist. So a few months later I went to go meet the specialist, and he then told me that yep, you have scoliosis, and we'll just like treat it over these years to see if it develops, if it stays the same. And so I was with him for 4 years, and over those 4 years, unfortunately, my spine did develop into an S shape. And you couldn't tell that I had scoliosis, to be honest, if you looked on me straight on. Like, you couldn't tell. I don't really remember if my shoulders were a bit like uneven. I honestly don't remember. But if you looked at me side on, you could for sure tell that I had scoliosis. My back was like this. It just was so not good to look at. I hated it. And it didn't really give me any pain either. I wasn't in agonizing pain like every day. Here and there I'd get a few pains, but it didn't really bother me. So I didn't really think much of it. I was like, yep, it's still getting worse and everything, but it didn't really bother me. But the other factor to this was because it kept curving, it meant that it was crushing my lungs, and I already have a hard enough time breathing. So having a spine crush your lungs even more makes it even harder to breathe. They offered me a brace, a back brace, but because of my lungs, I wasn't allowed a back brace because it was already restricting me from breathing, and having a brace would make it even worse. So that was totally cancelled out. So I think it's in like the very last year I was with the specialist. It got to 65 degrees, I'm pretty sure, my scoliosis. And 65 degrees is like, you need surgery urgently. And I never thought I would have another surgery, especially in the Royal Children's Hospital, because yeah, I just never thought I'd have another surgery. But he told me that I had to have surgery, and I was petrified. I hate surgeries. I've had open heart surgery, I've had elbow surgery, I've had mouth surgery, and every time I have a surgery I'm petrified. Like, I get into this state where I'm like just so ridiculously overwhelmed and scared and nervous and anxious. And so when he told me that I needed surgery, I was like, not again. But I knew that having surgery would like be the best thing ever, especially for my lungs and everything. And it wasn't gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna have surgery, because otherwise it's just gonna get worse, and then like I won't breathe and then I'll die. Like, that's just terrible. So you had to be on a waiting list, and the waiting list was 2 years, I'm pretty sure. We were thinking of going private, but honestly, private was it was $50,000, and I was like, no, it's okay, like, you know, I'll wait. I also kind of got boosted up a little because of my conditions, and that was kind of a good thing, I guess. But so we were on the waiting list for 2 years, but before that they told me, like, think about the surgery if you want it and whatever. And I was thinking about it, and I wasn't on the waiting list at this point. So I was just thinking about it, and obviously I had to have it. So I told the surgeon, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and have this surgery. But my parents sneakily already had put me on the waiting list. And so within a year, I was booked in to have my surgery. Now, it comes to the surgery bit. Oh no, sorry, I forgot to say. So before getting surgery, for me anyway, I had to have a lot of appointments leading up to the surgery. So I had to have a lot of cardiology appointments, whatever it is, heart appointments, respiratory appointments, and scoliosis appointments. And I had to have all three of them. The only way of stopping me having the surgery is if my heart wasn't healthy enough, if my lungs weren't functioning properly. But all good. I got the A-OK from all my doctors. My heart was healthy, my lungs were good, and my scoliosis was not good, but it was it needed to be done. So I got all those appointments, and because you have to be healthy to get surgery. So when you're in theatre and if you are sick, it's pretty dangerous. So you have to make sure that you're healthy and everything. So I was healthy. I got the A-OK from all my doctors, and I'm not even joking. In that time, I had literally 20 x-rays. I've had so many x-rays in my life. I reckon I've had up to 100 x-rays in my life. And I just had x-ray after x-ray after x-ray. And I got asked so many times, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? It's no, it's okay. But they have to ask you that when you get an x-ray. But anyway, also before the surgery, I think I got an MRI to see, my spine and everything. But in the children's hospital, they put in a new x-ray machine, and I think I was one of the first few people using it, and it's pretty cool. It, instead of just the square thing that just is on your chest or whatever, it's a whole body it's a full body x-ray, and it was so cool. But it does make noises. It's a little scary, but it's cool that it does your whole back. So it was awesome. Okay, now let's get to the surgery finally. So 2015 was when my surgery happened. I was booked in for the 10th of March 2015, and I remember that date because it was athletics day at school that I was missing. Even though I don't participate in athletics, it was just I really wanted to be there. Anyway, 10th of March, so before surgery you have to fast, and I think I stopped eating at 10 p.m. I think, or maybe later. So I stopped eating, drinking, all that kind of stuff. My surgery was scheduled for, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock, but I had to be there at 7:38. I honestly don't remember. I was so delusional, so delirious. So woke up, nervous as hell, didn't sleep the night before, got to the children's hospital, in the waiting room, still panicking and half falling asleep because I'm so tired, because I haven't eaten or drink, and you're not allowed to drink. I was what? I know, I've done this so many times and I'm still what? Anyway, so in the waiting room, then my name gets called, and I'm oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We go into the nurse's office. She puts on this special gel cream to numb your, what are these called? Your hands. So they can put the IV in. So you have to walk around with them for 10 to 15 minutes. So I was walking around the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And then we went back into the waiting room, just sat down for a bit, and then my name got called again. And then we went to a different doctor's office. Oh, and also I forgot to add, oh my god, sorry, this is all over the place. So because of my conditions, I have to be put into ICU units, so the intensive care unit, just so they can keep an eye on me after surgery. It's only you're in there for 24 hours, but it's just a precaution kind of thing. So I went into the second doctor's office, and he was sorry, but your surgery is not going to be today because there's not a bed in ICU for you. And I was like, inside I was like, yes, oh my god. But then I was also like, oh, I have to do this all over again. And it's like, oh my god, I can't put myself through this again. So that surgery didn't go forward. And then a couple of weeks later, no, a month later, April 7th, 2015 was the actual surgery day. And again, I was nervous, shaking, crying, just tired, emotional. Went into the doctor's office, got my gel things all again, went down to the Starlight room. They gave us a buzzer so they could tell us to come back up when surgery was ready. And my mum and I decided to, because they have a theatre in the Starlight room now, so we watched Home, and as soon as that movie finished, the buzzer went off and we went upstairs to the waiting room into the nurse's office again. She was like, yep, okay, so there's an ICU bed this time, it's all going forward. I'm panicking, and because that they see that I'm like distressed and everything, they give me a tablet, and honestly this tablet was magical. It like really calmed me down, and I was just like on the bed waiting for them to like roll me into theatre. It really calmed me, and this was like the first surgery where I was really calm for the first time. I wasn't like hysterical like usual, and so yeah, this tablet was so good. And then they give you warm blankets because you're a bit like whacked, like you're a bit weird, like you're a bit loopy and everything, so they just keep you warm and everything. And then time came for the IV, so they put that in, then they put you to sleep, and honestly don't remember them doing that. And then my mum was telling me that it actually like didn't work and it all went everywhere, but I don't remember this because I was asleep. And then they did it again, then I was asleep, and the surgery went for 4 hours. I also forgot to say that I was 17 when my surgery happened, so I was in theatre, went for 4 hours, had no recollection of the surgery, of course. That would be terrible if you did. So woke up out of surgery. I was in the ICU unit, of course. Woke up so disorientated, and every time this happens, so every time I have a surgery, I'm always like, I always think my mum is next to me, but so I'm like, Mom, and like I grab the nurse's arm and I'm like, Mom, but she's like, sweetie, it's just your surgery's over, it all went well, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, like I'm so out of it, like so out of it. And I only remember bits of it in ICU, but I just remember being so thirsty, and they couldn't give me like glasses of water because I wasn't really sure why, to be honest. I don't know why, but they give you like these cotton swabs that they soak in water and you can suck on them. So I just kept asking for them, and then the nurse was like, sweetie, you can't have too many of them. And I was like, but I'm so thirsty. I also forgot to say, you might think like, how did you wake up on your back? And trust me, I had the same question. I was like, what? I have back surgery. Am I gonna wake up on my stomach? No, I woke up on my back. And in surgery, I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually seen like videos of it because I don't want to, but anyway, I'm assuming it's like a massage chair. You know how you have like the hole here on your face? I'm pretty sure it's like that in surgery. Anyway, back to ICU. So in ICU, it was like dark. It was so dark. I think it was nighttime when I woke up. And all these nurses were coming in, just like checking up every few minutes. Then I honestly don't remember anything else other than that. And then I remember the next day I was getting discharged from ICU, but my parents came in and my sister, and I remember, because like it's so, like you can't like just turn over and move because you just got your bloody back done, so you have to ask people to like help you turn over. and then they put pillows on your back. I'm not even joking. Every 5 minutes I asked my dad, can you turn me over, turn me over, turn me over. Like I just kept wanting to turn over because I was so uncomfortable. Like it's such a weird foreign object in your body that your body's trying to get used to it and everything. Oh, and by the way, it's titanium rods that are in my body. So I always just sing Titanium by Sia and David Guetta, is it? Just love that song. I can relate so much to it. So uncomfortable and so like weird and everything. So then I got discharged from ICU and I was put up in a ward, and oh my goodness, the wards in the new children's hospital are amazing. It's your own bloody room. Like it's amazing. It's like a private room and whatever. And there's like six rooms on the ward, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because I remember when I was younger with my heart surgeries, I shared a bloody room with a baby, and this baby cried all night, all day, and I had no sleep. So when I got my own room, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Anyway, so I got into my ward, and I remember my head, like I was so dizzy. I thought I was like gonna pass out or whatever, because like we went up in a lift, and you know the sensation in a lift kind of like makes you a bit weird sometimes. I thought it was that, but then the nurse, she took me off this drug that they were giving me in ICU, and I felt better, and she was like, okay, yep, that's a bit weird. Anyway, I was off that drug. I don't remember what the drug was, to be honest. Anyway, so I was put in the new ward, and honestly it was the best thing ever. I loved this ward. Yeah, that's pretty much the surgery bit, and then I'll go into the recovery now. So recovery, I was just meant to be in surgery for 1 week, but I was in there for 2 because my oxygen levels dropped like quite significantly, and I normally am around 90, is it 90%? Is that what it is? Is that how you measure? I don't know, but I'm not around 90, and like your average person should be like 100, but because of my lungs and whatever, and it dropped to like, I think it dropped to like 68 or something, 70, and that's like not good. So I was put on oxygen. Bloody love oxygen. So I was put on that. It's a new accessory. It just goes with everything, of course. Put on oxygen, and yeah, basically was in the hospital for 2 weeks recovering. Literally the next day after surgery, they make you walk. So you have to get up and you have to walk because you need the titanium to like know what's happening or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I was just told to get up and walk. I was so drugged up, like so drugged up, that I could not even open my eyes when I was walking. I was like walking like this. Like I was, honestly, I've never felt that way in my life, and couldn't open my eyes. The way like you would just walk like 1, then take a break, 2, like it was so hard to walk. It's like trying to learn to walk again, but yeah, it was so weird. Then I think like the next after that you do stairs, so I had to do stairs, and I was like, this is too much exercise, let me rest. Anyway, but majority of the time I was obviously resting in the bed and everything. And my parents, like my mum slept a lot in the room with me because they now have like a nice bed, which is pretty cool. And my dad slept over sometimes as well. And the I think it was morphine, pretty sure it was morphine. So they give you like a clicker, and I think it was every 8 hours you could press the clicker for morphine, so you could get pain relief. Every time I was waiting for that 8 hours to be done so I could press it again, because you're in so much pain. Like it's really uncomfortable and weird feeling, and it's just so odd. I had the morphine like every 8 hours, and then I think like 2 days later I had to be taken off it because I think I was using it too much. So then they just put drip in, like a drip in whatever, to put the medication in or whatever. I honestly don't know. And then I woke up, I remember, so when I woke up in ICU, not in ICU, sorry, in the ward, I had this massive bandage or something here on my neck, and I was like, what is this like band-aid doing here? And they were like, oh, in ICU you ripped your bloody cord out. And I was like, what? I don't remember doing that. And like, it's an important cord because it's like through your artery or whatever, I don't know. So I ripped it out and they had to put it somewhere else. I think they put it through my drip, whatever. But I ripped it out and I was left with this big bandage here. I have a photo, I'll try to find it. But yeah, I ripped it out. Don't even remember doing that. A lot of my family friends came and visited me in the hospital, which I loved. Like, it was so sweet. And I was so loopy, like, I don't even know what was happening to me half the time. But all I remember is I could not stomach food. Like, I couldn't even stomach bloody chicken nuggets, and I love chicken nuggets. I could not stomach them. I just throw up all the time. Tablets, I can't take tablets. Like, I just can't do it. And every time I would take it, I would just throw up. And then the nurse would be like, oh, it's okay. So I had to take them, obviously. So I think I eventually took them. My sister would always come in. There was a whiteboard in the ward, in the room. And she would always like draw on it, make me, just like draw me things so I could look at. And then bloody Dr. Harry from Better Homes and Gardens was on my ward, but I didn't get to see him. He didn't come to my room. Heartbroken. But he was there. And then also there were these dogs that, sorry, my camera died. As I was saying, yeah, there were these dogs that came around and we got to pat them and everything. And there was one with, it was a poodle, I'm pretty sure, but it had like polka dots on it, like they were dyed different colors. It was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool, having a bit of entertainment during the day. And then I had this wonderful nurse. Her name was Jemima, I'm pretty sure. And she was so lovely. She did my hair. She plaited it for me. She just made me feel so comfortable and everything. And then I went down to the Starlight room a few times. Played a bit of like the Wii and PlayStation, whatever, just to get my mind off the pain, because like it was quite a lot. And then finally I was discharged from the hospital and I could go home, but that meant that I had 3 months off school, and this was year 11, so it was kind of like important year in school. But so I had 3 months off school, and in those 3 months I stayed home and I did a bit of schoolwork. I had such an amazing network of family and friends around me. They were so supportive. I loved them. I love them so much for helping me through this journey. And when I got home, Mum set up a bed that was just here, and I pretty much stayed there for like a few weeks, because like still walking was pretty uncomfortable. And then my mum took away the bed and my dad got a bit angry. He's like, she needs that bed to rest. And then my mum was like, no, she needs to get up and move around. She can sit if she wants to. Even sitting was like pretty hard, because you're staying upright in that position for a long time is kind of uncomfortable. So lying down is like really comfortable. But I wasn't allowed to lie down anymore, according to my mum. So I sat up a lot and I walked around a lot, and that did help. Like, I was thankful for that. And then I went back to school. So 3 months later, I went back to school, and I had to have a trolley bag. I wasn't allowed a school bag because I wasn't allowed to carry anything that was heavy, because I think I was only allowed to carry like, I don't know, like 2 kilos, like, yeah. So I got a trolley bag, and it was alright having a trolley bag. My friends helped me a lot. I had the bottom locker, so that's good. But that meant I had to bend down a lot, and you can't like bend over with a like, you can bend over, but it was a bit difficult at that time. Yeah, my friends were so good with me and everything. I had to, so after the surgery, they fitted me for a brace. And this wasn't like a full-on brace. It was just like a bit of a back brace. And I like didn't tighten it too much so I could breathe, you know. But yeah, I had a back brace during school and it went over my uniform and I did not like it at all. I tried hiding it with jackets and everything, but I hated it. So getting that off was amazing. I didn't have to sleep with it. It was just like during the day thing. I think it takes 2 years for it to fully fuse, for the rod to fuse to the spine, the bone. And it's been 2 years this year. And my back is like I'm pretty sure it's fully recovered. Like I feel like it's fully recovered. And I always get asked like, can you feel it? And yeah, I can feel the rod sometimes if I move like a specific way, a certain way, I can feel it. It's weird. But other than that, it really doesn't like bother me. Other than like, I went to the footy once and you have to be like checked for like anything on you. So they use the wad. And so they were doing that on my back and I was like, I'm for sure gonna go off. Like I'm for sure, because it's titanium. And but luckily I didn't go off, so that was good. Now my next thing is airports. If I go off in airports, I'm gonna have to carry like a little certificate around saying I got a rod in my back. But yeah, like my back is now like, it feels fine. I obviously can't like do certain things. Like I can't do handstands, I can't jump on a trampoline. I can't like do push-ups or anything like that. And my back is still numb. Like it's not as numb as it was first operated on, but it still has that sensation of feeling numb. It's really odd. You know when you get like teeth out, like your mouth feels numb? It's like that sensation, but a bit worn off. Like I can feel me touching my back, but it still feels like that numb sensation in a way. But yeah, that's all. That's pretty much my scoliosis journey. It was tough. After the surgery, I was in so much pain that we were thinking like, was it worth it? Was it worth doing the surgery? And it turned out that it was totally worth it. And I enjoyed this surgery so much compared to all my other surgeries. This one was such like a smooth sailing. It was just amazing. Like I enjoyed the experience at the hospital. I just loved it so much, and I'm thankful for all my doctors, for all the nurses, for all my family, all my friends, just everyone who like helped me during that time. And I've come out of it like amazing. And also a bonus, I grew 5 centimeters from the surgery. So I was like, yes, this is amazing. So I grew 5 centimeters because when I was straightened out, I was 5 centimeters taller, and I was like, yes, what a bonus. So yeah, that is my scoliosis journey. I hope it was like you could understand what I was saying. I probably missed out a few things, but that was the bulk of it. So yeah, thanks for listening. See ya.